We are here at RVs on Ellsworth Avenue with Kim, and tell us a little bit about how you got started here.
I moved to Pittsburgh from New York City. Coffee was always a serious personal interest, and when I was thinking of how I could sort of reinvent my career, my professional trajectory in Pittsburgh, I started putting a business plan together and convinced myself that I could actually make a go of it. A coffee shop that's also very focused on not only making good coffee, but being a place for the neighborhood to be able to hang out.
And it is one of the best coffee places in the East End. It's just a really pleasant place to hang out. So what has changed since COVID happened?
Yes, the major thing I guess that we've done is we're not allowing people to stay inside as of now. We're limited to takeout. And that really, for me, is a specific decision to be able to keep the staff safe as well as our customers safe. We're still letting people come inside to order. They just can't stay. Honestly, I missed my customers. Serving somebody through a window, through a little hole, to me was a little less satisfying than at least being able to say hi, how are you doing, how are you holding up, even if it's just literally 2 minutes to make you coffee, check up on you, let you go on your way.
We're less than 2 weeks away from one of the biggest elections in our lifetime. We've been doing a lot of work as a coffee shop to activate and vote, right?
Yes. I think, well, if you're a customer here and you've been following us for a while, I don't think it'll be any surprise or secret to you what I myself as an owner and what my staff stand for when it comes to certain social issues. Because even before COVID, we always did fundraising for organizations that we believe in. And with the elections coming up, we're not endorsing anybody, we're not telling people how to vote, but we're telling people to vote because, as you said, it is probably the most consequential election in our lifetimes. And I think there's a lot of barriers to people getting the correct information for how to exercise their right and, frankly, their civic duty, especially in these times. So I think we took it upon ourselves to convince people to vote, point them in the right direction, because I think it's crazy important. And I'm an immigrant. I moved to the U.S. less than 20 years ago. I became a citizen less than 3 years ago. From where I came from, I had a right to vote, but a lot of times that vote didn't mean anything. America, despite its flaws, your vote still matters. Your vote can still change things. I'm so proud and happy to be able to have that right that when I was growing up, that was not something I had from where I came from. And that's why, to me, it's so important to tell people, don't take this for granted because you don't know what it's like when it doesn't matter, when you don't matter.
It's a great message, and congratulations on your recent citizenship as well.
Thanks.
Well, I can attest, RVs on Ellsworth, great coffee, great people, a very pleasant place to hang out or to work, civically engaged, and during non-COVID times, a place where you can come for events as well. So the RVs, check it out, follow them on social media.
I think it was built in the 1920s. It had no walls. It was all concrete block when I bought it. These ceilings were all disgusting tiles, It was one hill. There were washers and dryers in this whole room. It was like a hill. I made levels. I mean, it was a scary building to move into for this, but I saw a long, narrow space, and it was 2,000 square feet, and I had been divorced, and I wanted to start a gallery. A good friend of mine, Donna Baldwin, had pushed me to do it at some point, and I did. That's what happened. I rented a space in Point Breeze for 1 year just to see if I wanted to get out of my jeans every day and actually be a business person. I liked it, and I didn't have to get out of my jeans. I'm still in my jeans. So that is the story of when I started. I did this in 95 here, a year after I did it in 94, I guess, as a test. And did it, and I loved doing it. I had artists, some from Pittsburgh, but a lot from many places in the world. And I miss the The international influence that I had, I made friends with so many people from so many, and they still are, a lot of them. But it's different without that. But business changed, the gallery business changed. A lot of artists were more into representing themselves, and the artists I wanted, I really had trouble getting, and I only wanted good ones that I would really want to have. So I went out of the business then. Paintings tell stories generally. This one I did after the shooting at the synagogue in Squirrel Hill. The people, there were 11 people killed. It's a one-person show. It's called the Robert Shaw Gallery. When you first walk in, and there's a big room.
Yeah.
That's going to be me.
Wow, when I was
So
there,
I'm very
it
excited.
happened to be the last day. They were like, by the time that we were leaving, they were deconstructing it, moving to the Pittsburgh Center for the Arts. It was a tactile sort of sculpture, paper sculpture that they had. So I know that
Oh,
I know
love
that
the
space.
museum. They have
It's a great
beautiful
museum.
collection.
Yeah.
They do. The Lion Show. This one was in Boxford. I'm 81 years old. So my life has really changed, and I can't believe this is America either. And so I thought that I would do work similar to how I feel about a puzzlement. So what I did was, people walk in and they say, oh, I love it, it's so happy, you know. Well, we're all happy on the outside, but there are things behind our facades. And so that's what the show will be about. There's a lounge too, but there's stuff going on back and forth in these. This is one too. This seems to be a lot of my friends' favorites. This is Souls of Wisdom. So these are all for the puzzlement exhibit.
So a lot of my business deals with the film and TV industry, and because of COVID, everything got shut down starting in March, and that really affected my income. I could say about 10% of my business comes from that source, and I'm very grateful for the film office for bringing films in, and my store becomes a resource for the costume designers. So all of the shows from Mindhunter to Perks of Being a Wallflower, since I've been here 35 years, think of all the films that have happened in Pittsburgh. I've met all those costume designers.
Amazing.
But I miss human contact. We're in this mode right now. And working with the Cultural Trust, I'm with the Pittsburgh Dance Council. We've had to eliminate almost all of our shows. I worry that the funding for the arts community is not there nationally as should be, because that's a big part of our culture that is being erased right now. And I used to be very shy, and but now being part of the arts community, when I go somewhere, I like to talk to people.
Yeah.
And I've become a connector, so and a mentor. If you live long enough, you sort of meet a lot of people. And I think we're very lucky in Pittsburgh that we have so much support from the foundation community. I think this is what makes our city really unusual in the most positive way, and also understanding that marginalized communities' voices need to be elevated. I just know that every time I go through the media, the news media, I'm seeing another organization donating another $100,000, $300,000 to elevate, Black lives and Black artists, people of color. I have this musical theater, this arts aura in the store, and when we can talk, theater talk, or creative talk, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's really important to have some kind of national funding for the arts.
So as far as Eons is concerned, where can people go if they want to find you online? to check you out before they come and visit?
I am on Facebook, Yelp. If you just Google me, you'll see articles and information about what my store is all about. It is a resource for 100 years of fashion. A lot of people are surprised what is in here. I call myself a creative hoarder in a good way. And again, it's respecting what exists and what's here already. It could be just accessories, it could be just jewelry. I mean, it doesn't have to be everything, but it's nice to mix that into your wardrobe. So to have a business that is a sustainable business is really important. For me, it's been sort of my 50-year life. And everything that I've done, even including when I was a Vista volunteer, I used to design playgrounds out of garbage. And I did showcases at the Three Rivers Arts Festival. We called it play sculpture to make it sound like art.
Amazing.
But everything that I've done, it's always like, what can I do for things that people are throwing away?
Yeah.
And a lot of our throwaway society is sort of rethinking what they're doing.
Yeah, and this is the embodiment of that here.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. All right, we're here in Wakefield Law. We're here with Catherine. And Catherine, tell us a little bit about how Wakefield Law got started, how you got, what your story is here.
Like Erica said, I'm Catherine Wakefield. This is Wakefield Law Group at 5819 Ellsworth Avenue. I've been in this space for coming up in 2 years on November 1st, but I've lived in Shadyside for 20 years. My house around the corner on college. Started practicing law at the same time I moved in 20 years ago. So my practice has evolved over this period of time to narrowing it down to focusing mainly on real estate. Things that the average person would want, like a neighbor would want, like a will, power of attorney, living will, any kind of landlord-tenant issues, deeds, administering estates, anything except criminal, family, or personal injury. Those are a little bit too heart-wrenching for me.
That's great. You also live in a neighborhood. You live right around the corner. What is it about Shadyside that drew you to live here and drew you to have, practice your business here? What do you kind of see the future of Shadyside and potential?
Shadyside I just fell in love with when I went to law school at Pitt. So I lived in several apartments in Shadyside through undergrad and grad school at Pitt, and I just couldn't bring myself to leave. I mean, the businesses being so close to the houses, being able to walk everywhere. I mean, I can walk to 5 grocery stores, from my house. Just, the friendliness of the people. I mean, it really is a community, even though it's a city neighborhood. So I grew up in Murraysville where you had to drive everywhere. I just love this more concentrated sense of community where you do get to know people. I mean, I see the same people every day on my very short commute from my house to here. So, I mean, it's nice to feel part of something. So it's a great place to live.
That's great. I agree. We are in Shadyside Books, 2nd floor on Ellsworth Avenue. And so tell us a little bit about Shadyside Books, how you came to be, and the history, and maybe where the books came from.
So we've been here about a little more than a year and a half, and we're basically a antiquarian bookstore, which means that most of our books are sort of pre-1970. And my father was a book dealer his entire life, and he was really good at finding great books and not so great at selling them, so he's just been getting more and more and more. And eventually we thought, well, we need to open a bookstore. We just think it's a good amenity for a neighborhood to have. And it's sort of paired with our sister business, which is Caboodle, which is downstairs from here. And we specialize in the arts, history, and sciences, so a lot of nonfiction, but we also have a pretty good literature section as well.
So where do a lot of you find your customers come from? Are they from Shadyside area and they walk here? Or is this a destination?
Yeah, I think it's a mix. We get a lot of people that are searching bookstore online and then they want to make sure they visit all the bookstores in the city. But yeah, we get a lot of walk-in neighborhood traffic as well.
That's great. Is there anything else that you'd like everyone to know about Shadyside Books?
Yeah, we have a relationship with Literacy Pittsburgh, where we have shelves downstairs and outside and in front that are pay what you want books, and half of the price that the person chooses to pay goes to Literacy Pittsburgh. It's a way to get a lot of books for a decent amount of money. It's whatever you want, and then they benefit as well.
That's an amazing service. I mean, I've just been floored at how many of these interviews we've done with people who are business owners going through, admittedly, this is a tough time to be a business owner and are also giving back. All right.
We also have a website, and you can find us and shop on the website as well, shadysidebooks.com.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, so now we're downstairs from Shady Side Books at Caboodle. So tell us a little bit about what Caboodle is.
Right. Sometimes we refer to Caboodle as what if Tinder met eBay. Basically, the idea is if you have $5 or $10 items in your house that you don't want anymore, you can bring them in, or you can play at home, and you can trade for a credit. And when I say play, what you do with that credit is you turn it in, and then you can get something else, and you swipe through as fast as you can. I have 90 seconds on the clock to pick something. So it's an even swap. You have a purse you don't want anymore, you trade it in, you get a credit, and then you might find a book that you like, or an item of home decor or something like that.
Now, are you finding an uptick of this at all? Maybe you're not, but I feel like a lot of people are at home, they're doing the KonMari thing, they're cleaning out, they're realizing that they have more than they actually need.
I think it really is a good fit for COVID times, that when people are looking in their house and they're saying, why do I have all these things? I don't care about them anymore. We'll trade them in, and then you can find things that you like more.
Nice, that's great.
It's like free shopping.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. I'll have to check it out. What else should we know about Caboodle?
So, well, we're affiliated with Carnegie Mellon University, so the co-founder CTO is the head of machine learning and health there. So I've been working with him ever since we used to be Disney Imagineers, and we have ambitions to take this, U.S. wide as soon as we can really get the wheels going. You can find us at playcaboodle.com.
Wax Jewelry Design Studio.
I call the store Wax because I am a wax model maker. I'm a classically trained sculptor. We bought this building about 15 years ago. My wife Sandra and our business partner Albert Ferrucci also own Hey Betty, the vintage clothing store across the street. This is my little carving studio here, where you can find me working, making custom jewelry, and we do mostly custom. So we have a collection of jewelry that we've put together for years and years of time from designers all around the world. Our real focus is on people who hand make their own jewelry. So we try and not carry major lines. We really work with the individual. And then our customers appreciate that and really come back because they know they're going to find something really unique and handmade.
So that's a real niche in the jewelry business here in Pittsburgh, I'm sure. I mean, that's probably unique compared to.
Well, yes, custom. Right, we catch a market of people here in Pittsburgh who really want something made for them. And I advertise on Instagram and Facebook for that exact purpose, that people can come in, bring me an idea, and I'll do drawings, and I really make it by hand from scratch. If you follow my Instagram feed, you can really see how jewelry is made and really has been made for thousands of years. I embrace technology as a tool, but I love kind of really getting in there and making it with my own hands. And I think my customers like that.
I'm sure they do. So where can people find you on Instagram and other places online?
Well, they can find it under Wax Jewelry Design Studio. They can also search my name, Keith Bellis, and then I sometimes get to tell the story. A lot of my customers do story pieces. They have a very specific idea about what their jewelry, what they want it to be, and that usually tells a story about them. So I feel like I've been for a long time kind of describing our culture in a lot of ways, because the people around us here in our neighborhoods are doing incredible designs. I get to participate, but they really come to me with ideas that I couldn't fathom, and then they help me make that piece of jewelry with those ideas, and then they end up with something that is truly one of a kind and that they'll pass down for generations. And that's kind of where we have found that niche market here in Pittsburgh.
So at the corner of Ellsworth and Spar, you can find Wax Jewelry Design Studio.
Yes.
So please check it out online and come on in.
And these days, we're working best by appointment. Customers can feel comfortable that when they come in, we have multiple air filters going, we have sneeze guards, we require masks. So we're very conscious and aware that this is a difficult time to conduct business, but we have kind of found a way. Our customers have kept us alive, and people are still calling up because they're getting married, or they're getting engaged, or they have a birthday or you know, an anniversary or something that they need that special gift or they want something made especially for them.
Life goes on, right?
Life goes on.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. I mean, we're in a happy business. Almost everything I get to make is something that is a gift, you know, something that's going to be given to someone. And we take that very seriously, and it does turn out that even in a global pandemic, people celebrate, and they want that special thing that they can say, you know, that they love someone, or that, you know, that happy birthday. And I think that it's really been, you know, a blessing this whole time.
If you want to tell us a little bit of, give us a sense of your own business and how that's evolved.
By education, I'm a lawyer, and by education, Joshua is an historian. I went to Wisconsin undergraduate, Georgetown Law School, and I spent about a year or so in Washington, D.C. with the firm after I graduated, and then I returned to Pittsburgh, and I had an office in different areas, but primarily in the Frick building in town. And that building actually first came on the market. I thought it would be a good opportunity to, number one, develop it into an office building. That building originally was a location for a company called the Green Cab Company, where there are cabs that literally ran throughout the whole building. We converted that into offices first, and then on what was here, the parking, we made this into the second Ellsworth Center too.
Okay.
And knock on wood, it's been a good investment for us, for Joshua and myself.
Excellent.
As far as compared to the Walnut Street area, parking is much more convenient here than it is there.
What do you think the future of Ellsworth could look like if you had your druthers?
I think it probably needs initially more office space, which could then attract more commercial space. I think the biggest commercial space currently, the types of commercial space rather, currently that would be good here, that would do well here would be destination type users. Destination type users, number one, could be food and drink type uses. There's a drugstore that specializes in delivery, pharmacy. It's moving here, would be a good location. Beauty parlors would be a good location. Currently, more destination. If more offices were located here, it could probably generate a market for other types of commercial space.
So offices above, retail, and ground floor.
Historically, that's what 30 years ago that was a focus for this area. Either art galleries or also antique shops. And there still are a few antique shops, but several are no longer here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But things that you would not expect to find on the flanks on Walnut Street or on East Liberty. So that's correct. Art galleries, antique shops, certain types of restaurants. Another area, which there used to be one or two facilities like this, but no longer, and I think it would make sense with the daycare, in early childhood development. And again, because it's demographics of the area are very good for that.
Sure.
I know there is a early childhood computer school that was considering locating there. I think that would be good because of the demographics, the accessibility, parking, as opposed to certain other areas that are frankly probably too congested for that type of use.